The man I never met. Ethan Cole first noticed the man on a Tuesday. It was nothing remarkable, just a passing detail in the background of his carefully structured mornings. Ethan exited the subway at 8:17 a.m., same as always, coffee in his right hand, phone in his left, thoughts already drifting toward deadlines and unread emails. That was when he saw him. Standing near the newspaper stand. Mid-30s. Dark coat. Neutral expression. They did not make eye contact. Ethan did not think about him again until Wednesday. The man was there again. Same spot. Same coat. Same unreadable face. Not staring. Not moving. Just existing, like part of the station itself. On Thursday, Ethan noticed the detail that made him pause. The man nodded. It was subtle. Barely a movement. A reflex more than a greeting. But it triggered something strange in Ethan's chest, not fear, not curiosity, but familiarity. By Friday, Ethan found himself unconsciously scanning the platform the moment he arrived. And there he was. The man. Week 1. Recognition. Human brains are pattern-seeking machines. Ethan knew this academically. He worked in behavioral data analysis. His job revolved around predicting decisions before people made them. But knowing something intellectually does not make one immune to it. By the end of the first week, the man had become a fixed point in Ethan's routine. Monday morning, same place. Tuesday, leaning slightly against the pillar. Wednesday, no coat, gray sweater instead. No conversation passed between them. No names exchanged. Yet something invisible formed in Ethan's mind, a sense of safety. The station was crowded, unpredictable, loud. But the man was consistent. Consistency feels like control. Control feels like trust. On Thursday, Ethan missed the train. The doors slid shut just as he reached the platform. He cursed under his breath. "You'll catch the next one." The voice came from beside him. Ethan turned. The man stood closer than ever before. Up close, his face was unremarkable. No scars. No defining features. The kind of face people forget 5 minutes after meeting. Yet Ethan felt no alarm. "Yeah," Ethan replied automatically. "I always do." The man smiled, not wide, not friendly. "Just enough. See you tomorrow," he said. Ethan didn't question how the man knew he would be there. He didn't question why the word "see you tomorrow" felt comforting instead of invasive. Week 2, normalization. After that, brief exchanges became normal. Not daily. Not forced. Sometimes a comment about the weather. Sometimes a shared glance when a performer played badly on the platform. Sometimes nothing at all. Ethan never asked the man's name. The man never asked Ethan's. Names create boundaries. The absence of them dissolves them. One morning, Ethan noticed something strange. He felt relieved when the man was there. On days when the man arrived late, Ethan's mood dipped for reasons he could not explain. He checked his watch more often. He felt restless. "This is ridiculous," he told himself. But the feeling persisted. At work, Ethan analyzed a dataset on consumer trust. Repeated exposure increased positive perception even without interaction. Brands, faces, voices. The more you see something, the safer it feels. The familiar stranger effect. He smiled at the irony. That evening, as Ethan exited the station, the man walked beside him for the first time. "You live near here?" the man asked. 2 blocks, Ethan said. "So do I." Another invisible thread tied itself quietly. Week 3, shared space. They did not walk together every day. That was the man's brilliance, Ethan would realize later. If familiarity grows too fast, suspicion follows. Instead, the man allowed space. Distance. Gaps. Some days, Ethan barely saw him. Other days, they shared half a conversation. The rhythm felt natural, unforced. One night, the station lights flickered. A brief blackout. Darkness swallowed the platform. People gasped. In the chaos, Ethan felt a hand on his arm, firm, grounding. "Careful," the man said calmly. When the lights returned, the man released him. The touch lingered longer in Ethan's memory than it should have. That night, Ethan slept deeply. He dreamed of standing in the station, empty and silent, the man the only other presence. In the dream, Ethan trusted him completely. Week 4, trust without proof. "Can I ask you something?" Ethan said one morning. "Of course. Do you ever feel like places remember us?" The man considered this. "I think people remember patterns. And we mistake that for memory." Ethan nodded. "That makes sense." The man looked at him closely. You analyze people for a living, don't you? Ethan froze. How did you? You watch more than you speak, the man said. You adjust your behavior based on reactions. You notice things others miss. Ethan laughed, unsettled. I guess that's accurate. The man smiled again. You're good at reading others, he said. But terrible at noticing when you're being read. The comment stayed with Ethan all day. That evening, Ethan realized something else. He had begun structuring his mornings to ensure he arrived at the same time. Not consciously, not deliberately, but his body knew. Week 5, the absence. On Monday, the man wasn't there. Ethan scanned the platform, checked near the pillar, the bench, the stairs. Nothing. A strange irritation bubbled up. Not worry, not fear, loss. Tuesday, still absent. By Wednesday, Ethan felt unsettled. He checked the station entrance before descending. He felt foolish doing so. On Thursday, he arrived early. The platform was nearly empty. Then he saw him standing farther down, partially obscured by a column. Relief washed over Ethan with embarrassing intensity. You disappeared, Ethan said, trying to sound casual. The man looked surprised. Did I? You weren't here all week. The man shrugged. Routines shift. Mine didn't, Ethan said. The man's eyes sharpened briefly. Then softened. Good, he said. Week 6, dependency. Ethan began sharing things he didn't share with coworkers. Minor frustrations, abstract thoughts, observations about people. The man listened, never interrupting, never judging, occasionally offering a remark so precise it felt surgical. You ever wonder, the man said one morning, how many people in your life feel close to you, without you actually knowing them? Ethan frowned. That sounds dangerous. It's unavoidable, the man replied. Trust doesn't require knowledge, just repetition. Ethan hesitated. That's unsettling. The man smiled. Only if you think trust should be earned. That night, Ethan checked his phone history. He couldn't remember when he had stopped texting his closest friend on the commute. Week 7, the revelation. It happened on a rainy Thursday. The station was nearly empty. Thunder echoed faintly through the tunnels. Ethan arrived early. The man was already there. You ever look me up? The man asked casually. Ethan blinked. What? People usually do, the man said. After a while, Ethan laughed nervously. I don't even know your name. Exactly. The word landed heavily. Do you know mine? Ethan asked. The man met his gaze. Ethan Cole, 32, behavioral analyst, lives alone, orders the same coffee every morning, avoids confrontation, craves predictability. Ethan's heart slammed. How? You taught me, the man said gently. By existing. Ethan stepped back. Who are you? The man tilted his head. Someone you trusted without ever meeting. The station lights flickered again. This time, the darkness lasted longer. When the lights returned, the platform was empty. The man was gone. Aftermath. Ethan reported nothing. What would he say? I trusted a stranger because I saw him often. Weeks passed. The man never returned. But the effect remained. Ethan noticed how easily he felt comforted by repetition. How quickly familiarity replaced caution. Every face on the subway now carried a question. How long would it take to trust you? One morning, as Ethan exited the station, he passed someone standing near the newspaper stand. Dark coat, neutral expression. The man nodded. Ethan froze. And without thinking, he nodded back. Final line. Trust does not begin with truth. It begins with presence. And sometimes, that is far more dangerous.